Today we are talking about how to get organized, so stay tuned. Happy New Year! Welcome to 2021. Oh my god, I am so happy that 2020 is finally over. Here's to 2021. Now, okay, if you're watching this any other time of the year, don't worry. We're talking about getting organized, but it doesn't mean you have to do it on January 1st. Now, when I was thinking about what I was going to say in this video, it was actually really hard for me because I am naturally good at organizing. That's why I have this channel. I guess you could say it's one of my superpowers. It's like if you ask an artist or a singer how they're able to just sing well naturally, or how they're able to draw really well just from the time they were really young, they'll probably have a really difficult time explaining how they do it. So that's similar to me. It's just hard for me to describe what I do, how my brain works, because it just naturally has always done that since I was little. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how I organize, and I have some tips on how you can get organized as well. But what I want you to do is to take what works for you and use that and leave the rest. I think the best piece of advice I have for you is to think of being organized as a puzzle, and it's got a bunch of different pieces, and those pieces can fit together in a bunch of different ways, and you just have to find the way that works best for you, because there's lots of different ways that you can do it, but you want to tweak it and try different ways until you find the best way. Now, the first thing you need to do is to know what all those pieces are. So you need to identify all the things that are vying for your time. So those could be tasks that need to get done, places you need to be, appointments, schedules, deadlines, all those things that need to get done that take up some of your time. Now consider each one of these things as a puzzle piece, and what you want to do is to move it around to get things in the best fitting way for you. Now for me, like I said, it's kind of a superpower, so I can almost do this in my head most times and just stay organized. But I'm actually really happy when I can have it all on paper and see it really clearly. Actually, organizing things really gets me giddy and excited, so yeah. I know I'm weird, but it really is fun for me. Now, everyone's puzzle is going to look different, even if you have similar pieces. But even your puzzle can look different one day to another. So one day you might organize one way, and another day you might organize a different way. But the idea is to find out what works best and do that. You can tweak things, change things around until you find what works best for you. Now that could be on paper, that could be digital, that could be in your head, whatever works, as long as everything's getting done. Next up, I have 4 tips for you to sort of get your life organized. And the first one is to schedule. Now there's lots of different ways that you can schedule, and I'm going to go through 3 main ones that I feel work really well. And the first one is calendar blocking. Now calendar blocking is when you take every task, every appointment, everything that's vying for your time and give it a spot in your schedule for the day. So you give it a time and you give it a specific amount of time to get it done. And you sort of lay out everything hour by hour and plot everything into a plan. Now this one doesn't really work for me. I have tried it with some success, but it really doesn't feel the best solution for me. But there is a video that you can watch with Amy Landino, and I'll put that in the description below and you can watch that. And she explains it a lot better than I do. The next 2 scheduling methods work better for me, and one of them is to block schedule. So instead of having each individual task scheduled into your planner, you have specific blocks for times of day, and each block has a sort of theme. Now this is Jordan Page's idea, and I'll put a link to that video in the description below as well, so you can watch that, because again, she'll explain it better than I can. But basically, if you have a bunch of like tasks and things that you want to get done, do those in a block of time in the day. So for example, you could do housework in the morning and then run errands in the afternoon, or you have your workday block, or whatever your life calls for. If you are enjoying this video so far, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Make sure your notifications are on so that you won't miss any of the ones coming up. And the third way that I like to schedule is to actually have a to-do list, and to pick the one that kind of looks the best in the moment, do that one first, and then kind of flow to the other tasks on the list. And sometimes I'll actually do the things without even realizing, and I'll get my whole to-do list done, flowing from one thing to the next, not in any particular order. And what I really like to do is to blend the block scheduling from Jordan Page with the flow systems. So I have sort of a task or to-do list for each block in my day, and I'll just sort of flow from one task to the other, getting them done. Okay, so that's scheduling. Let's move on to the second tip, and that is planning. So I want you to take some time and plan your month, week, day. Actually, you can start really loosely and plan your whole entire year, just sort of ideas, set goals or whatever. But then every month you can sort of tighten it up a little bit and say, these are the things that I want to get done this month. And then maybe every Sunday afternoon you have a time where you've set out to actually plan the coming week. And then maybe each morning or the night before you can plan your each individual day and just sort of tighten it up and have the day's plan set. My third tip for you may be one of the most important, and that is to review. You have to look back and see what you've done and see if it worked or if it didn't work, or maybe some of it worked and some of it didn't. Take what's working and run with it. Keep going with that, but then look at the things that aren't working. Are there certain things on your to-do list that you keep shuffling from one day to the next? How could you fix that? Could you delegate? Do you need to do that task that keeps getting bumped off? Looking back can keep you more organized and more productive as you go forward. As you look at what's working, keep that and throw away what's not working. And the fourth tip I have for you is to learn from others. You can watch YouTube videos on organization. I have quite a few on this channel, but there's lots of channels, people tell you how they organize, and lots of tips and hacks and things that you can learn. Now, not all these things are going to work for everybody. So what I suggest you do is to look at it like a buffet, because everyone's minds are different. Everyone's minds are organized different, and also everyone's lives are different. So even if you organize the same way as someone else, they may have a completely different life than you, and so they are organizing different tasks and different appointments and different things than you are. So it's not going to work exactly the same. Or maybe you have a similar life to someone else, but your brains work differently. So if you try what's working for her, it may not work for you, and you'll be all confused, but she has the same number of kids as me, the same ages, and it works for her. Why isn't it working for me? It's because our brains are wired differently and everyone sort of organizes differently. And so knowing that, going in as if it's a buffet will really help. So go into the buffet, look at all the stuff, watch all the videos, read all the books, and then take the things that you think will work for you and give them a go. Sometimes certain dishes in buffets look fantastic, and then you get it back to your table and it's really gross. So think of it that way. Take what looks good, try it out. If it works, keep it. If it doesn't, just put it on the side of your plate and leave it. So make a little buffet plate for yourself of all the organizing things that look good, and then try those out to see if that helps you stay organized. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. You can click here on my little face to subscribe. If you made it this far, then put a heart emoji in the comments below. Here are 2 more videos that you can watch. Have a fantastic day and happy planning.